Hey guys, welcome to the Words with Woodsman podcast. We're so glad that you're here.
I'll
Just
say
like
something
that.
So he has to cut it out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You guys see what I have to work with on a weekly basis with these guys. But anyways, so I actually heard a story this week involving Randy. You and I'll have a conversation with you and pretend he's not here. Okay.
We usually do that.
Yeah. So evidently,
I'm getting ready to drop a bomb.
Randy, being a great husband,
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
he is taking his wife to the doctor. Okay.
That's what a great husband does.
Sure. Let's go
Okay.
with that.
I'm trying to find the badness right now.
Well, the doctor evidently recommended that Randy gets hearing aids.
Nope. See, okay.
That's what I heard. That was the
What?
story.
That wasn't the story.
Randy,
So-
can you hear me?
Yeah.
So here's what happened. The receptionist got new hearing aids. She said she can hear the birds chirp. And they made a joke kind of like about husbands not hearing. She goes, yeah, you should get Randy a pair of hearing aids.
Okay, but
That's
didn't
what happened.
just a minute ago you said, I don't know what Josh is going to say. I think Bobby told me, but I didn't hear her.
My question is, what's that? So here's my question.
I heard her, but it was like, well, he won't say it because it.
My
that
question
was-
is what were the things he was concerned about?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what are the things? As you sitting there running a list through your head, like what's Josh going to bring up? What are the things? This is
hold
confession
time
time.
out. Your wife and my wife talk a lot.
Yeah,
Hold
they
on,
do.
Hold on.
They do.
Well, your wife talks a lot.
This is true.
And Bobby listens a lot.
I did marry a yapper. Yeah.
And so I can't tell you what's
I love my
always
yapper.
being said.
Well, it's true. I kind of tune it out every once in a while.
In my
Well,
wife,
and now you
I
see
love
why he
my-
needs hearing aids.
Yeah.
I love my wife. She'll tell me some of the stuff she says, and I just because it was their conversation and
Yeah. Well, can you guys believe this is our 26th episode?
That's crazy.
did you get me a present?
No. I did get you a new setup. So
See?
so the
Now I can hide.
we got some camo. You can hide behind it if you want to. The bike shop owner did a little remodeling, and so our tables are actually disassembled in the back, and the bases are actually being used for something else. Which I guess we can kind of plug him. He's actually starting a coffee shop in here, which I think's
Did he ever figure
Pretty
out
cool.
a name? I thought we gave him a good name.
we gave him a good name, but I'm not sure if he's using it or not. I'm not going to
might be a
say
grand
it.
opening.
I just looked over.
I'm not
there
going to
see-
say it in case he's using it or not using it, and he's not wanting to reveal that just yet. But hey, if you're in the Farragut area, if you're one of our locals, and you need a cup of coffee, I have no idea. This might be the worst plug ever. I don't know when he's opening. I don't know any of the details. I know there's coffee involved.
Can't you put like during the thing if you talk to him like?
Put like a little. I'll put it up right over your face, like just
Perfect.
all things that pop up will pop up over Andy's face. So
Andy or Randy?
Randy, both of you, I'd just extend it. I'd extend it. So I know last week we had a discussion about pranks, and we talked about how Andy
Goes
is
too
that
far.
guy that takes things a little bit too far. Did you zip tie anyone in the trunk this week?
No, not that I can talk about.
Yeah.
I have my zip ties
I'm
on
not
me.
good. I don't
No,
know.
so we did have our annual movement conference, which
Just all the teenagers.
there was over 500.
Wow.
It was huge numbers, and in preparation for that, we always plan to get the student pastor as an act of love, just as a joke. And
As a recipient of all this, I'm not sure it's love. I don't know. I'm not.
yeah, it definitely is.
Go out of the way.
I don't know. I thought it was
I used to receive these pranks.
ping
Yeah.
pong balls and
Anyways,
Anyways,
we wanted to step it up. Ping pong balls in the car, balloons in the car, fake bugs.
it's wore out.
It's wore out. Yep. The mouse traps.
We're moving on.
you know. All right, so moving on. So
yeah.
we our student pastor's brother-in-law is a very, very good mechanic
Oh,
and
no.
actually built her car. And so in conversations with him, he has the proper equipment. He thought it would be hilarious to put it on blocks. And he could do it pretty quickly. So we had him do that, put it on blocks, and we made a note that said, "Dear student pastor, we love you. Tonight, you're going to have to use this other car
Oh, no.
to go get your 4 tires." There was 1 tire at 4 different houses.
Oh no.
And she absolutely loved it, to be clear. But she made a vlog as she went around at night, and it's late. It's midnight, 1 a.m. She's trying to find her tires. And then there's obviously people at the church that are seeing a car on blocks. And it's relatively new to our student pastor. And she's, the people in the vlog aren't as happy as she is. And may have only had one part of the story. And man, there was a lot of, I even got a text from this guy like, dude, I think you took it too far this year.
Well, I just seen the video of student pastor and her husband in the car, and I'm like, man, they just
That
look
might
like
be
they're a little
Tired.
tired. I mean, being one that's been at movement, I can
Now
understand
there
that.
was one aspect I took too far.
Did
So,
our officer friend share with you what happened?
yeah, two different incidents, but you share from your perspective.
So he shared with me. So we've got a mutual friend. We'll call him D. We won't throw his full name out
Yeah.
there, but Officer D at the church.
Lakeshore Larry.
Hey,
Also known as
I wanted.
he has an alter ego, also known as Lakeshore Larry. But he came to me and said that he actually had to call off. I hope I get this correct. So if I'm wrong, then whatever, someone will figure it out. But he actually had to call off a bit of on the sheriff's department end because they thought someone had showed up at the church and stole 4 tires.
So there was two different
Out
incidents.
of all the cars, this is the one car that got selected.
There was two different incidents that happened. So once we had the letter made, we shared it with a couple of employees from the church. Thought it was hilarious. They actually got the police at the church involved right away. Said, hey, just so you know, this is happening in the parking lot. They took a picture of the letter we made to give to our student pastor, and things were good. Well, I guess someone on the worship team, it's a staff parking area, was parking and saw the tires being removed and went and reported it to a pastor. And the pastor was like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, I know about that. No big deal. And that was day one, no big deal. The second day, when the tires were stacked up to be put back on, someone didn't go to the church. They called the actual police and said there was vandalism happening at the church. And so the police then radioed the officers on site, and the officer on site started laughing and said, you know, you don't need to come out, but, you know.
This is a prank. This is
it's
a harmless prank.
And so all was good, but thought that was comical that two different incidents happened. There was one part of the scenario that me and some of the high school boys might have taken too far. So we had a tire outside of my house sitting late at night. And
Do you even know about this?
No, I don't know about this
Oh,
part.
I know.
when you walk into my driveway, the ring light, like floodlight, really just blinds you. And so we saw where the line was. There's still lights. We didn't turn any lights out, but that's where we set mouse traps.
No,
on the sidewalk.
all these leftover mouse traps.
I had
Yeah.
6 left over, seriously. So 6 mouse traps were strategically layered, like with a little overhang from a bush or whatever. And I get a text on the way to your house. We were trying to make a trap up top where all these water balloons fell down, but we ran out of time. We had the fishing line. Anyways, ran out of time on that one. So we were like, okay, quick, run inside. So on my TV, I turned on the doorbell camera on the big 70-inch TV, and I turned it on just as our student pastor steps on the first one. She's wearing shoes, thank goodness. But it goes off, and then it's, Andy!
At least you wasn't wearing flip flops.
I got so lucky she wasn't wearing flip-flops.
Yeah.
I would have felt pretty bad. I didn't actually expect it to work, but it did.
You know, we talked about, you know, all these pranks and Andy taking things a bit too far. You know, I don't think I shared last week the best prank, and it was actually kind of by accident. Best prank that I ever pulled. And it was while I was working at a church. It was the church before my last church. So it was back in Mississippi. And we had the facilities guy, okay? It was on his birthday. So he was turning 40. And on his 40th birthday, myself and a few of the other employees that were there, we took like 3 hours, okay? And we got on our computers, and we had his phone, obviously, because we know him. We have his phone number. We have his address. Like, you got his information, right? We began signing him up for every free trial of like AARP and walk-in tubs and like stair lifts and even adult diapers. Like, we signed him up for and believe it or not, they sent samples to his house.
Oh,
like,
my God.
we signed him up for every free trial. We did this for like 3 hours. Okay. We did not expect for this to go on as long as it did. Like 3 years later, he had to change his number. Because he kept getting calls from like, hey, sir, we're reaching out to you about this AARP promotion. We'd love for you to sign up. And he's like, what is happening? He's like, this was funny when the diaper showed up, but now it's not funny anymore.
That would get kind of annoying.
So
But now you gave Andy some more. Andy.
I've given me some
I've
ideas.
been working on, so this year's my 40th.
Mm.
So I'm half Randy's age, but it's my 40th this year.
Half Randy's age. You
So
don't need hearing aids yet?
Randy's family's not going to be invited, so it's okay
See,
that I share this
here-
idea.
yeah.
I heard you said, do you need hearing aids yet? No, I don't. I've got great hearing. But anyways, I do have a great idea for my birthday.
Okay.
Have you ever
To
heard?
prank yourself?
No, it'll prank everyone else. But I need to.
Wait, you're pranking everyone else on
On
your
my
birthday.
own-
This
yeah.
is your gift to yourself.
Yeah, but listen, I need 2 trusted folks and all of our listeners to help me with this.
this may not be Steve.
None of our circle is going to hear this. So this is,
Okay.
we're far enough into the episode. So what if it was a reverse surprise birthday party?
Reverse.
So here's the way it works. You can't even tell your wives, so hopefully they don't listen to this. But you guys have to pretend like we're doing a surprise birthday party for me, but I'm already there. And I surprise everyone else. I'm in the cake at the
So
surprise
you're
birthday
going to pop
party.
out of.
Of the cake?
Yeah, so you're like, oh,
Wait,
he's on
hold
his way. He's on his
You gotta wear
way.
a toga or something when you come out.
But I'm already there.
So we're going to surprise the surprisers.
I'm going to surprise
With
the
you.
surprisers. No, you guys have to act like you. Well, we need someone to plan it to get folks coming, think that I'm coming. Like, oh, he's on his way. I'm already
is it?
there. I don't know. I'm still
I feel
December.
like if
Your
you,
birthday's in December? Oh.
well, I feel like if you loop your wife in on this,
I can't. She's
can she not keep a secret?
Civ. It'll be
Oh,
gone.
She can't.
No, she's going to say this is a stupid idea and tell all her friends how stupid the
Oh,
idea
well, that's
is.
that's
'Cause
sad.
like most people, you need backup. You need support. If you don't like the idea, you need support.
Because it would be most natural for her to plan your surprise birthday.
I know it won't work. So she
So-
needs to be as surprised.
You've thought about
You-
this.
Well, whoever it is going to have to engage her, but she's not going to know it's a surprise of a surprise.
So you want me to tell her, like, hey, let's throw a surprise party for Andy
Guys,
for
get
his
it.
40th?
That's what he's going for.
So you guys would be engaged in it, but only you two would know, not even the wives, right?
You're the only person I know that will plan a prank on a podcast
And
Oh, yeah.
hopefully nobody.
and hope and with the preface of, hey, we're far enough in, our wives aren't listening anymore.
But then you know there's people from the church that
Listen to this podcast.
and might
Well, don't invite them.
They might say it at church in front of your wife.
Wow, that's a way to treat our listeners. Hey, if you listen to the podcast, you're not invited to. Thank you for everything that you
Now
do.
they're going to spill the beans because
No.
you de-invited them.
Well, we can still cut this.
Hey, we can put mouse traps in the cake, so when he steps in,
That's our prank. to
I will
him.
already be in there with the
I know, but when you're getting in there,
I
you're
really
gonna
want.
step
I
on
really want to hear like Andy, like in there, and I hear, ow, ow, ow.
Hey, what if I parachuted in? Like it's in December. Can't do it outdoors.
That could
I mean,
end
I
very
know some of the
poorly.
guys over at the Air
Come down
Force
from
over
the
here.
ceiling.
Jump from over your
What
railing.
what kind of budget do you have for pranks?
It's
Significant?
yeah.
Do you like budget it into your?
So
There's
can I
enough
have
time.
your credit card to get?
We're
the cake?
talking about money today in the B block, so kind of
Like
makes
being a
sense.
good steward.
Well, no, not,
Good.
not really.
Thank
No.
goodness. Whew.
Well, guys, we are coming up on our first break. We're going to help Andy during the break work out some of his prank ideas. But when we
Yeah.
come back, we'll when we get him straightened out, we'll come back and dive off into the Book of
Could be a
James.
while.
Yeah, possibly. Welcome back to the podcast. We are in the Book of James. We're breaking into chapter 5 today. So
Listen,
so I'll read it. And pretty soon we got the rest of chapter 5. So maybe in the next 3 or 4 episodes, we'll be into another book. And so, I'll start reading. So we're in verse 17 of 4. So the last verse, and then I'll read and we can talk about it.
Sorry, I was watching his password so I can learn how to hack it.
You learn how to hack it and
Do a prank.
do a
on him.
prank back on him, a reverse prank.
Yeah, like something that screen jumps out at him.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, all right. So starting with verse 17 and then into chapter 5, it says this. It says, if anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. Now listen, you rich people. This is getting
you
direct.
raise your voice.
Listen. Yeah. For emphasis. Now listen, you rich people. Weep and wail because of the misery that's coming on you. Your wealth has rotted, and your moths have eaten your clothes. This is not a Dave Ramsey talk, is it?
No.
Your gold and silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days. Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers who mowed your fields are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty. You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence. You have fattened yourselves in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the innocent one who was not opposing you. So I really do think that this is probably the harshest James has been, probably the entire book. But what do you guys think when you first hear all that?
I'm not rich, so I guess he's not yelling at me.
So you kind of just like, I'm gonna zone out on this.
Yeah, let them take it. You're all looking at me.
Actually, I think you are rich because what is it like if you own more than one car, or I think the stats like one car or two cars, you're like in the top 6% of the richest people in the world.
If I own how many cars?
If you own, I might be wrong. I'm not an economist, but I read a stat, but I pretend to be one on the weekends. I read a stat of like if you own two cars, if you're a household that has two vehicles, I think the stat was like you're in the top 6% of the richest people in the world.
Wait, household?
If you're a household, yes. You own.
You have 4?
You have.
I don't own 4.
There's 4 cars in your
How many
house?
cars in
There's
your
4.
household?
There's 4, but one
One you don't own. One's a business car. So let's say 3.
So then Devin owns his own car.
But he's in your household.
It's a household thing.
Haley has hers.
I think it's a
and Bobby
household
has
thing.
hers.
So you're
You're
in
in
the
like
top.
the top 3%.
Yeah. So this verse
Because
very
that's
much.
that stuff doesn't come out of my.
I don't.
We need to reread this for him.
Okay. Well, when I read this, so my initial thought, okay, so first off, let's say what this passage is not saying. It's not saying that it's wrong to be rich. That's not what it's saying. Like there's plenty of people in the Bible that were wealthy that God blessed. Solomon being an example of that. Solomon was one of the richest people to ever exist, right? And God was blessing him in the midst of that. It's not the fact that you're wealthy. I ultimately think and believe it's what you do with it.
Yeah, I mean, because basically he's saying that you're rich with all this stuff, taking you out to slaughter. I mean, when you get a fat animal, you take it out to slaughter because you fed them up to get all that meat. And at the same time, these guys or these folks have this money that had rotten them in a way because they abused it. Like they self-absorbed. I don't know.
Well,
what
and
I'm using, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and you see a lot of that on the back end of this passage, like the last 3 verses, right? Like it says the wages you failed to pay, so they're taking advantage of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's 2 parts to this. I think one, I think he's saying, and we've said this, I think, a lot in the book of James, of what's your God? Is your God your wealth? Do you get your security from your money? Because he's giving you a warning here. Like, it's not always going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think back to, and I know all 3 of us were around at this time back in '08 when like the market crashed and all this kind of stuff, right?
You guys were in high school.
Not the Great Depression.
I was out of college by then.
I was out of college by then.
Remember my 40th.
I wasn't out of college in '08, but the effects of it, I was just getting into college.
Mhm.
But
4 kids by '08.
yeah, well, and there were stories like
That's a different podcast.
well, in all seriousness, there were stories of people that like took their life when that happened, right? Like you're putting your life and your wealth and the things that you have, and when that's taken from you, which how quickly, like the stock market could crash tomorrow, right? Like everything that we own, everything that's in the bank, like all that could be gone in an instant.
So you're saying that about '08. We bought a house in Ohio due to somebody's unfortunate events financially. And they left a note in the cabinet. Now, I don't remember what it said or anything, but apparently the lady's spouse had passed away. She remodeled the house, but realized afterwards she couldn't afford it. So it was a foreclosed home, but brand new. Had like new carpet and all this stuff. and we got it for like way cheap.
Well-
you know? So, and it, somebody that
Yeah.
maybe didn't plan for, I mean, we all don't really plan for death. You know what I mean? We're not.
Yeah, and that could change you in a second. That could
Yeah.
change your situation in a second, right? And you said like you were about to say something.
Yeah, I mean, just the way it starts out. Now, listen, you rich people. I think the way they even use that word, you rich people, that's how they're viewing themselves. Not, I'm trying to think of a different word.
Than rich people.
No, so he's not trying to say if you're wealthy but you're generous, what would they call that?
I would say
Blessed.
blessed people.
Okay, that's
right.
what I was looking
yeah.
for. Right, but so notice how they use the word rich, not blessed, right? Because someone that views themselves as rich views it as their money that they possessively own, that they intend to spend. And then it carries on to say misery is coming on you. Because if that is what you're worshiping and you view yourself as rich and that's what you're storing up, then that's going to lead to misery. And that's exactly the,
Well, and
the path that you took
that's a
it.
very good point, because as I was like doing some research on this verse and this passage, one of the points that they make was, one, you can get rich outside of God.
Mhm.
Right? There's plenty of people, there's plenty of celebrities out there, there's plenty of like uber wealthy people that they didn't get that following God. They did that like God allowed it, right? Because God's God's overall and greater than all, and he's still sitting on the throne. But in this world economy, in the way that they did business and the way that they did things, they did that on their own.
Mhm.
And what's really dangerous about that, and I think it goes back to in the Gospels when Jesus talks about how it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
It's not because it's not because God's got anything against rich people. It's because you think you're self-reliant.
Mhm.
Like you think, oh my gosh, I accrued all this wealth on my own. I can pay all my bills. Could probably pay all my neighbors' bills if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't need God. And that's the falsehood that people believe because they put their faith in their wealth. They put their faith in their possessions. And James is sitting here giving a warning going, no, that stuff's going to rot away. Then what you got?
Well, and in this context, he's referring to them not being generous, right?
Mhm.
Because in verse 3, it says your gold and silver have corroded because you have it piled up.
Yeah.
Like
oh,
it's
that's
got
great.
patina on it, right? And then you go to verse 4. Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers because you weren't being generous. Someone that's generous obviously pays them what they're owed and then some, right?
Right.
So he's not referring to somebody with wealth that's been blessed. He's referring to somebody who's rich that only looks at their own interests and is probably worshiping that wealth.
And it said you've hoarded wealth in the last days. Like,
Right.
like they're just they're not even not being generous. They're
Right.
just not doing the things that they said they would do. Right.
What are you going to do with that wealth?
Yeah, once you're gone, you
Right.
have nothing, and then you're gonna get to the gates and look at the book. I don't know.
I've never seen a hearse with a U-Haul behind it. You know what I mean? Like,
elevator to the lower
It's
floor.
the whole thing.
right. Like God's not okay. So God's not going to call you up and all your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like that's going to go to your kids, or if you don't have kids, it'll go to someone, right? Might even go to the state if you've got nothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're gonna want a piece of that.
Everybody wants a piece of it. But the thing is how often, but even though we know all these things, right? And us as believers, we believe these things, but how often, how easy is it to get caught in that trap? Right? Of I'm not going around ripping people off, and if I owe you money, I pay it to you. And I'm not doing any of these things right here. But how often can I look at money as like financial security? One of the biggest lessons that I think I got in this was over the past couple of years since starting Woodsman. Like we're fundraising. Like there's people that give in order for me to have a salary and for Woodsman to be able to function, right? And to do this ministry. But at the same time, God led my wife to start doing contract work.
Mhm.
And the problem with contract work is,
Contracts end.
contracts end, right? And so there's always this little bit of anxiety when the reality is even if she had a full-time job, you could get fired from that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like there really is, and I thought about this a lot today. There really is no guarantee
Mm-mm.
on these worldly things.
Nope.
Your job could end tomorrow.
Mhm.
In a heartbeat. Someone in a boardroom could make a decision and they say, hey, you know what? We're going like cut off this part of the company, and you can be out of work, and there's nothing you can do about it. And so the important part is what's your faith in? Because I'm not going to put my faith in something that's unstable.
Mhm.
I want to put my faith in something I can trust and lean on.
I just church this last week we went to. They talked about that. Like, you're gonna have all this stuff, but when you're gonna get up there, you're not gonna have a relationship, so you're not gonna get in. And all this stuff that you accumulated, all this money, these houses, and these girls that you have, they're back down there while you're up there. And what do you got? Nothing. But you, for the 60, 70, 80 years you lived on earth, you did all this stuff, but you're going to have an eternity up there. You're willing to sell it for 60, 80 years, and you have an eternity up there. Why? You know, back in the day, they used to live, and it says it in the Bible, Noah, 500 years old when he started building the ark, and finished at 600? Like, how long they lived on earth, you know?
But even that was
there for that.
Me?
But he helped build the
I was
ark.
there afterwards.
Just after.
But even then, like, their life was still a vapor compared to eternity. Like,
Right.
one of the best descriptions I've ever heard. And the guy held up a Bible, and he took the cover of the Bible. Okay, so I wish I had one in my hand right now. But he took the cover of the Bible, and he said, "Hey, just this cover. And you can really do this with any book. So imagine you're holding a book in your hand, and the cover of the book, that's your life here on earth.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it represents your eternity." And it's not even close, right?
Not even to page 1.
Right. Like, you're not even make it to the table of contents, the acknowledgments, right? And so it's this whole mindset of, and we as believers, and James has really been calling for this change of mindset the entire book of, hey, realign your thought process. Your life here is so short. You only get 90 years. We only get, like, you get 90 years, you're lucky. Right? Like, that means that I don't know if you ate salad every day or what happened. Right. But that's all the time that you get. Your eternity is going to be so much longer. So why live your life focused so much on building up riches here? And there's people that they dedicate their life to it. I mean, how many people do we know that their life is their job? Their life is their career. Their life is making that dollar.
That used to be my wife. I mean, you guys might have heard it. That used to be me. 6 to 8 months out of the year, I was gone, leaving my family to go provide, where my wife got to stay home and, you know, all this nice stuff. And then have to, you know, you realize this money ain't going to go with me, and I'm missing family stuff.
Yeah.
And I was already starting to get into church, and that's when it was like, yeah, we had to make a big financial change in life, where you go from, like, high money to bottom dollar stuff, and you're like, we're gonna have to give up some things.
Yeah.
What's important? And
the bottom line is, and I heard someone say this, and I thought it was so good. They said every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And so think about this: like, your boss offers you a promotion, but it's gonna, and I'm not trying to lump guilt on anybody. I'm just making a point of, your boss offers you a promotion, but that's gonna mean that you've got to work, you know, more time away from your kids.
Oh, yeah. You are making me feel guilty about the company car.
Well, and the thing is,
the second one,
he wrecked the first one. But the thing is that makes a good point of, let's really think about these things. There's nothing wrong with taking a promotion. There's nothing wrong with if that's something. I just say enter that prayerfully, and don't enter it with a mindset of, I've got to gather, I've got to make more money so we can get a bigger house, so we can get a pool, and we can have 14 cars, and here's the deal: like, you could die tomorrow. Like, that was the verse last week of, your life is a vapor. What's going to happen if you work your life away trying to gain riches and you get struck by lightning?
See, why would you want that many cars? It's a lot of insurance you got to pay for.
They're rich. They're high on the hog.
I don't care.
They're living in
cheap.
luxury and self-indulgent. They fatten themselves.
That's what it says.
Look, no, I can't do that. Like, no, I couldn't.
Well, and the bottom line is there's a lot of, and I'm not, like I said, once again, I'm not trying to lump guilt on anyone, but I'd love for our listeners this week, as you think about what your motivations are. And that's not that's not me picking on you. What that is I really want you to analyze that, because if you're still breathing, and if you're listening to this podcast, you are, if you're still breathing, there's always time to realign your motives and realign your thought processes. And I promise you, trust me with this, you will find more joy pursuing eternal things and things that are going to last, and time with your family and all that stuff. You will find more joy in that than you ever will a paycheck. And so,
and if anybody from work's listening, I'm not upset about the promotion. I do get to leave on my own sometimes and take my wife.
no, there you go.
I don't want to get and have an email sitting, going into work tomorrow. Like, hey,
This won't be published for a couple of weeks.
So
that gives me time to look for a new one.
Just before they fire me.
Well, guys, we are about out of time. So before Randy gets himself fired, we are about out of time. And so we hope you guys have a great week. We will see you next time.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Words with Woodsman podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. We'll see you next time.